If you're not originally from here, say where you're originally from. Okay. So, for example, I'm Carol Crumley, president of APPA, and originating out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I am now in Cobb County. I've been with APPA since I think about 2008 or 9. And I'm really glad to see you here today. I think we're going to have a fun time. I can't wait till Rita has a chance to introduce you. Okay, so Rita, why don't you go next?
Yeah, I'm Rita Carlson, and I'm the vice president, and I do programs in public relations. And I came here from Minnesota, so I'm not used to the heat still after so many years. But I enjoy doing this kinds of things and coming up with new ideas so that we can live a healthier life and enjoy it and just, be able to endure all the things that come in life.
Okay, thank you. Rita, can I ask that everybody speak into the microphone, please? Did you get that? Rita's, what Rita
Hello?
said?
Okay.
My name is Margarita Rovira.
Put the mic close to your.
I'm originally from El Salvador in Central America. I live in Roswell now. I came as a little baby. I came to Orange Springs all my life, so that's why I'm so attached to Georgia. And I joined the association about a year ago. I'm really enjoying the interaction with everybody.
Hi, I'm Janine Eggleston.
Close to your mic.
Hi, I'm Janine Eggleston. I live in Buford right now. Came here from Colorado. Been a member of APPA for a little less than a year, and I just love all your programs. And I really like Dr. Bruno last month. That was wonderful. Got your own.
Does it work?
Yes.
Excuse me. I'm a first timer here, just to see what's going on and see if it's for me, And my name is Bob Fedorchak. It's okay if you can't pronounce it. And so I had, polio as an infant, and then, was able to live a good life in the Army and all that kind of stuff. And about 2-3 years ago, the Post-Polio thing started creeping in, and that's where we are today. And I've been coming down every 4 to 6 months to see a therapist, kind of monitor where I'm at, And my interest is to kind of see on where I'm going with a possible need for a brace, and when people that have traveled this path before me, kind of seeing where this thing is going. I live up in Marietta, Cobb County, and it's a nice, easy drive down 75.
Welcome.
How did you hear about us?
Well, I was just mentioning quite by accident at my last trip here about 3-4 weeks ago. There was a sign down by the elevator that Post-Polio syndrome group meeting. I said, wait, what's this? It's the 7th floor. So I asked him when I checked in for my therapist, the check-in lady didn't know if she checked, didn't see anything about it. So I asked the therapist, and she checked, and I don't know anything about this. So I said, well, I'm going to the 7th floor anyhow to see what this looks like. I found somebody up there, and she didn't know anything about it. She says, well, we rent the place out, and she says, go down and see the information card downstairs. Then I got a number, and that number turned out to be a fax number. It cleans the wax out of the ear. So I went to the net and got some phone numbers, and said, either way, I know it's on the first Saturday at 1 o'clock, so I told my wife, I'm going, whether they're there or not, I'm going. I'll see what's
Glad
going
you're
on.
here.
So that's it. And I'm not from Pittsburgh, but I'm from Youngstown.
Oh, I have family in Youngstown.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, well, very good. Very good.
Steel country.
Yeah, level wise, I guess.
Yeah.
So I've been down here since 1974.
Okay, thank you, well, welcome, we're glad you found us. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Vicki Kroll. I've been a member since probably the middle of the '80s when we were at Emory, meeting in Emory. And I'm the photographer now.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I've been here about 20 years. I do the phone tree. I call and check on people who are not on email just to do a wellness check. And I had polio when I was 4, and I was in Warm Springs.
I'm David Jordan. I've been a member since 1990. I had polio in 1949.
Hi, I'm Belinda Whitaker. I had polio in 1956 and I was about 5 years old. I've been here in Georgia for about 22 years, and it's been very good, although the heat is depressing sometimes, but it's been very good. And I've been a member for about the past 10 years.
Hi, I'm Joe Drogan. I'm from Dawsonville, Georgia. Been a member here for about 12 years now. I am a grateful retired president of this apparently secret organization. We'll need to work on that a little bit. I had polio in 1949.
I'm Barbara Mayer. I'm originally from Southern California. Been in Georgia for 11 years, and shortly after moving here, I found out about APPA. I'm currently the secretary. And I had polio at 22 months, 1954.
I'm James Harrison. I've been a member of APPA for about 3 years. I had polio when I was 5 years old. And I'm from California.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Carthon, daughter of James and Ellie Harrison, and I love being alone. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allison Stockton. Been working with APPA, I think, for about 3 years now. And today we have, working with me is Tia Ferguson and Tiffany Ferguson. They're sisters and they're my cousins. And also my wife wanted to say thank you for the wonderful birthday card that was sent to her from APPA. So she sends her greetings and says thank you.
I'm Allie Harrison, wife of James Harrison, and we have been a part of APPA since roughly 2015, I believe. It's a wonderful organization. I'm a native Georgian.
Thank you all. And welcome, Bob. Okay, and so we're glad to have you here. We have clinical information for you, so we'll be sure to make sure that you have a packet of information. Now, I'd just like to take a moment to everyone an introduction. I'd like to just take a moment to have a devotion before we start our meeting today. So if you kind of just nod your heads in silence, dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this organization that you provided for us to come together to have a place to discuss our needs and challenges, to learn information that will help us in our daily lives. We thank you for each and every member of the ones that are here and the ones who are not able to make it. We pray that the information via the internet or Facebook is able to help them. And we thank our speaker that is list is we're gonna have an update, on the survivors, conference that you probably saw the notices about, and wondered where things were going on, so we'll talk about that a little bit, a directory, a SNAP update, and a website update. But, and then we'll have a chance to share and have a chance, I think, to answer some of the questions that you may have from all of us in our own particular experiences, both our members and our family support members. So your wife is welcome to come at any time also and share with other family members. But right now, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Rita, and we're going to go immediately into this, and then we'll do the update after the presentation, if that makes with you. Okay? So, Rita?
Okay, I'm pleased that our speaker today will be, she says to call her Zoe. She's the Family and Consumer Services Extension Agent at Cobb County. And she says she's from Central Asia, so we're glad to have her, and we appreciate her taking time to give us a program on healthy eating from the guidelines of the Cancer Society. So Zoe, we'll turn the program over to you.
Thank you. I don't know, is this thing on?
Let me see.
I asked for no microphone, but they insisted I wear one, so I'm afraid I hope I don't speak too loud. I'm trying to speak loud.
We're recording also.
Is it on now? Okay. No? Yes? Okay. Well, hello, my name is Zoe, and someone asked me to pronounce my last name. My last name is Sultan Mamedova. As Rita mentioned, I am originally from Turkmenistan, which used to be part of Soviet Union, and it's in Central Asia. I am Family and Consumer Sciences Extension Agent for University of Georgia in Cobb County. Has anyone heard about Extension Services? Yes, so what do you guys know about Extension Services?
Well, what I've used was the one that's by the,
Old tag office?
well, one by the water department.
Yes.
And the last time I called, they've been very good. I mean, taking clients down and everything. And I have a Kia van, and I was seeing like spores coming out of the carpet. 7 or 8 different spots. I went, what is this? And I thought I had, so I scraped some off, but you couldn't really clean the carpet. It was really hard. So I scraped it off and went to the extension service, and the gal came out to the car, checked it, and she put it under a microscope, like magnified it 28,000 times, and says, I'll get back to you. And she said, well, it's not spores or anything. And she said it's probably mineral from the glues that they use in the carpet. So for many years, the extension service has been great for the garden ones.
Yeah. You raised your hand, right? Saying that you know about Extension Services?
Yeah, but I haven't had anything really to do with it.
Okay, so Extension Services is partnership between University of Georgia and local county government, and we bring research-based, non-biased education from University of Georgia to people in the county. So I'm located in Cobb County, but almost every county in Georgia has Extension Services, and we have 3 program areas. One is Family and Consumer Sciences, which is my program area, so we cover topics related to home, health, food, family, and money. Then we have 4-H. Anyone knows about 4-H? Which is, everyone knows, so which is biggest youth development organization. And then our 3rd program area is agriculture and natural resources. As Bob mentioned, they do everything with gardening, they do soil tests, they do tree identification, plant identification. If you have problems with your garden, they are your people to talk to. So I usually say Family and Consumer Sciences does everything inside the house, and agriculture and natural resources, does everything outside of the house. So today I'm here to talk to you guys about American Cancer Society guidelines for cancer prevention and management. And our goal for today is to leave you empowered, and empowered that you can make small changes to your daily lifestyle to lead a healthier lifestyle. So we'll talk about the American Cancer Society guidelines on nutrition and physical activity and how to apply these guidelines to your lifestyle. A lot of times people, when they hear word healthy or staying healthy, being healthy, they get discouraged because they think that they have to make these drastic changes, but our goal is to show you that you can make small changes, one step at a time, to live a healthier lifestyle, that your health is in your hands. Sadly, cancer affects a lot of people in the world. More than 8 million people die from cancer every year, and cancer is the second leading cause of death in the United States. And most of the cancers are preventable. Some of the examples are breast, cervical, and colorectal cancers are the most common in the cancers that are preventable. Why do we get cancer? So there is no research that will show you the reason why cancer, how we get cancer. There are some known causes such as cigarette smoke and ultraviolet rays, but most of the cancer causes are unknown. How does cancer occur? Body damage happens to one of the body cells, and then if body cell cannot repair itself, it leads to tumor, and then tumor grows and becomes cancer. But fortunately, and then it grows, becomes cancer, and tumor can spread. But fortunately, most of the time, our body can repair the damage. So only in those cases when the body cannot repair the damage that happened to the cell, that leads to tumor and growth and spreads to cancer. How can we reduce our risks of cancer? So research shows that 1/3 of common cancers are actually preventable. And then 1/3 of cancer death are related to diet and physical activity. So this picture shows that healthy weight, physical activity, and diet can lead to cancer prevention. So since 1/3 of cancer death are related to diet and physical activity, if we change our diet, if we change our physical activity, we can reduce our risks of cancer by 1/3. So this image shows some common cancers that are preventable by diet and physical activity. Esophageal cancer, breast cancer, liver cancer, gallbladder cancer, kidney cancer, endometrial cancer, oral cancer, stomach cancer, pancreatic, colorectal, and ovarian. Does any of this surprises you that these are preventable by diet and physical activity?
I'm surprised at breast cancer.
Yes, I was hoping someone would say that. So yeah, it is surprising, but it is actually preventable by diet and physical activity. So everything else is kind of like makes sense because you eat, it goes through your mouth, through your intestines, so everything else is involved in digestion of the food. But then the breast cancer, people are like, oh, but it is actually preventable by changing your diet and physical activity. So lifestyle changes show to improve breast cancer outcomes as well, reduce the risks of breast cancer as well. So American Cancer Society guidelines they have 4 major guidelines, which is first, achieve a healthy weight, eat a plant-based diet, limit alcohol, and be physically active. So these 4 guidelines actually not only applicable to cancer prevention, but in general to lead a healthy lifestyle. So what is, oh, no, I'm going ahead of myself. So achieve a healthy weight. As we saw before, 1/3 of cancers are preventable by diet and physical activity, and risks of 13 cancers are associated with overweight and obesity. And in addition, not only 13 cancers, but in addition, overweight and obesity can leads to 14 to 20% of cancer-related death. Is it shocking to everyone? Yeah. So some of them, they were on the previous image because they are associated, because those are the cancers that are preventable with diet and physical activity. Yeah. So what is a healthy weight? Anyone wants to say something? Guesses? Okay, BMI less than 26. So healthy weight is a weight that you achieve and maintain with healthy eating and regular physical activity. So being skinny doesn't necessarily mean healthy. So in fact, skinny can be unhealthy as well because you can be malnourished and underweight. And we like to actually, we don't really go into BMI, but we like to go by waistline because that's something that people can do easily. You don't have to calculate. So the recommendation is for 35 inches or less for women and 40 inches or less for men. So that's something that you can monitor easily if you have a tape measure at home. So how can we, well, as the previous slide said, the healthy weight is a weight that you achieve and maintain by healthy eating and physical activity. So people are like, oh, what is healthy eating? So everyone has a MyPlate handout. Has anyone seen this before? Yes? So MyPlate is replaced, formerly known as Food Pyramid, so it's USDA food guideline. The tip is, so like, how do I eat healthy? Use a 9-inch plate to cut portion sizes, and then if your every meal looks like my plate, you're pretty much eating healthy. We'll go with each group. So we have, the recommendation is make half of your plate fruits and vegetables, 1/4 grains, 1/4 protein, and have a serving of dairy. Whose every meal looks like this? Anyone wants to share what their usually meal would look like? Bob, should I put you on the spot because you said you had breakfast this morning?
Yeah, I had breakfast this morning. I had 2 eggs scrambled up, but the first thing I did was chop up some scallions and saute them first.
Okay.
What else did I put in there? Oh, some Mexican hot sauce. Gotta have that in there. And I think it was all what was left in the refrigerator. Then some toast and coffee, and good to go.
Okay. So you had some scallions.
Oh, excuse me. I had one more thing. I had some. I really like this. It's a chunk pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you bite it in a can, Dover's or whatever, and I take about 10 pieces and some water, put it in a pan, and let it get nice and the water boils out. You got to stay with it at the end because the sugars start to caramelize, and then add just a touch of water in there, and you get it a little brown, and then just about a half teaspoon of honey on top of that, and that's my fruit.
Okay, so you actually did, what kind of toast did you have?
It was a rye toast.
Okay, so rye is whole grain. You actually did pretty good. You had your protein from eggs, you had your scallions, although it's not half a plate of fruits or vegetables. You had a little bit of vegetables, you had your fruit, and you had your coffee.
Yeah, I'd have to watch on the scallions and on the greens because they were high in vitamin K, and if you're on the blood thinner,
Yeah.
you got to kind of watch where you are. So that was my breakfast.
Okay, thanks for sharing. So if you follow my plate guideline, you will make sure that you're getting whole grains, that you're getting all the vitamins and minerals that your body needs, and then the fiber as well. Because, yes.
So I heard that it's really ideal to have 3 or 4 times.
We'll get into red meat. Yes. Yes, we'll get into red meat, especially for cancer prevention. Yes. So, but it's good that you mentioned because meat is not the only source of protein. Yes. Well, we can actually go, well, everyone knows fruits and vegetables. Can someone name some sources of protein? Beans, nuts, yes. Beans, nuts, they call them legumes. So all kinds of like lentils, those are good sources of protein. Grains. Can anyone name some grains? Yeah, okay, thanks. I think we have some more. So if you make sure that your every meal looks like this, you're pretty much eating healthy. And use a 9-inch plate to help you control portion size. Because a lot of times people are like, well, they think that, especially with all these different diets coming out, they think they need to do paleo diet, they need to do keto diet, they need to do low carb diet. You really don't need to do that because if you follow my plate, you make sure half of your fruits and vegetables, half of your plate is fruits and vegetables, you have a whole grain, you have protein and dairy. That also helps you eliminate all the processed foods because you can't find really any of these processed foods but sugars and fats. And those are not food group. Any questions on my plate? So eat plant-based. People, again, plant-based, like, oh, do I just need to eat fruits and vegetables? No. So you need to eat fruits and vegetables. Grains are actually also plant-based, so you have to do grains. And then we did list some plant-based sources of protein. So it's actually not that hard to follow a plant-based diet. And then you can have a serving of dairy, but we'll get into protein. So why do we want to make sure that half of our plate fruits and vegetables? When I teach nutrition class with kids, I like to say, make sure you eat the rainbow. Why do we want to eat variety of fruits and vegetables? Any guesses? Different colors.
They all do different things.
Exactly. So different colors do different things for your body. So if we're including different colors in our diet every day, we know that we're getting all those vitamins and minerals that our body needs. But if we were just eating greens, we won't be getting different vitamins and minerals that orange or red or blue or purple fruits and vegetables have. So eating variety of fruits and vegetables helps us get all the vitamins and minerals that our body needs. Grains. We talked a little bit about grains, but with grains we want to make sure that at least half of our grains are whole grains. You don't have, if you're used to eating all white grains or refined grains like white bread, white rice, cereals, you don't have to drastically change it and go cold turkey and go into whole grains right away. Just start, but make sure that at least half of your grains are whole grains. Why do we want to eat whole grains?
Takes longer to digest.
Yes. So whole grain has 3 parts to it, and bran, endosperm, and germ. So it has more fiber, vitamins, and minerals. And the refined grain has only endosperm. So when they refine a grain, they remove germ and bran, and that's where most vitamins and minerals and fiber are. And then we're left only with endosperm that really doesn't give us much of vitamins and minerals. So fiber helps us stay fuller longer, and as Barbara mentioned, it takes longer to digest. So if it takes longer to digest, we don't get hungry as fast. Yes?
So why is there refined grains on the market so prevalent?
That's a good question, because market is, that's what people like, consumers like. So they go with the consumers. It's, yeah, the manufacturers. I mean, yes, they should not be on the market, but yeah. Also, with the market and the consumers, everything, they make it, and the labeling, it's another thing. They make the labels that will make you think that you're buying a whole grain, or you're buying a healthier option, but in fact it's not. It's just as bad as buying non-whole grain. My favorite example with breads. You go to a bread aisle and there are a ton of breads. Actually, we do have, okay, I'm gonna hold off on my example because my next slide is that. So we're gonna talk about this. And I usually I teach a whole grain class with kids, and I have an experiment. I guess now thinking about it, I should have brought it because I'm sure you guys would have liked it too, but I'll tell you about the experiment. I have a piece of whole grain toast and a bread and a piece of white bread, and I usually get 2 bowls of orange juice. So orange juice imitates acids in our stomach because that's what breaks down the food. I'll put whole grain bread and white bread and orange juice at the same time. 10 seconds later, when you pick up, white bread actually falls apart faster, and then the whole grain is still staying together. So all those vitamins, minerals, and fiber helps us stay fuller longer. So, any questions on whole grains on this slide? So we have a little activity. This is a whole grain activity. Which bread is best? I'll read it to you. So number 1 is, it's called Sally's Superfood Multigrain Bread, and the ingredients are wheat flour, water, brown sugar, wheat bran, flax seeds, chia seeds, rye flour, oats, sunflower seeds, salt, soybean oil, yeast, glucose, soya flour, potato flour, natural enzymes, ascorbic acid, and vinegar. How does that sound to you all? It actually doesn't sound bad, because you're like, ooh, it has rye flour, it has oats, it has sunflower seeds, it has flax seeds, chia seeds, it has wheat bran, wheat flour. So then bread number 2 is Mary's multigrain bread with flax, and the ingredients are whole wheat flour, water, oats, vegetable oil, sunflower seed, yeast, ground millet, salt, honey, brown sugar, flax seed, vinegar, cultured whey, and soy lecithin and enzymes. So, which bread is better? We're gonna vote. Raise your hand if you think bread number 1 is better. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 3 people for bread number 1. Raise your hand if you think bread number 2 is better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So the people that raised for bread 1, can someone say, Carol, I'm going to put you on the spot. Why do you think bread 1 is better?
Well, I was thinking that flowers, different grains. The only thing I thought that was different to yeast.
No, there is yeast in both. Okay. Bob, do you want to say something?
The reason I picked 1 is because it
One has brown sugar.
Oh, I did? Oh, I missed that. Oh. I need to reconsider.
It's okay, they both have brown sugar. Okay, who said bread number 2 is better? Everyone, can someone say why they think it's better?
It doesn't have glucose.
Doesn't have glucose. Any other ideas why you think it's better? James, why did you pick bread number 2? You guessed? Oh, at least you're being honest that you guessed. Thank you.
It has honey.
When it comes to the brown sugar, it comes further down rather than in number 1 when it's the third.
Okay, that's a good point. What about Joe?
It's whole wheat.
Yes, thank you. So, bread number 2 is better because the first ingredient is whole wheat flour. So the right way to choose whole grains, there are a lot of different whole grains. Carol mentioned rye, barley, oats, wheat, rice, quinoa, all those. But the only way to know on the market, if you're buying packaged product, to know if it's a whole grain bread, because we want to make sure we're eating whole grains, is the first ingredient actually has to have a word whole in it. Because they're both wheat flour. It says wheat flour. Wheat is a grain, but once it's get processed, it's still called wheat. It's not called anything else, but it's not whole wheat. So whole wheat flour is better for us. And as Gloria said, brown sugar is listed further down. So ingredients are listed in the descending order. So the highest percentage or the ingredient will be the first ingredient. So if brown sugar is listed third, so there is more brown sugar in the first bread compared to this one, because here it's less, like further down the ingredient list. So with bread, another example, as I was going to say, my favorite example with breads, you go to a bread and it will say white bread, and then it will say honey wheat bread. And by the package, honey wheat sounds better because, ooh, it's wheat, it's whole grain. But then when you look at the ingredient list, the first ingredient actually can be the same exact thing on both breads. Make sense? Okay, any questions about whole grains? No? Yes.
One question, in both of those, about how much salt is in a slice of bread on average?
I have no idea, because I don't really eat bread that much. So, but if you look on the ingredient list, you should, on the nutritional information, you should be able to see it. Okay? So when we're choosing grain products, we want to choose whole grains, and the only way to know if the product is a whole grain is to look at the ingredient list, and the first ingredient has to be whole grain or like whole something. Except there are some grains that it's just given, like corn. Some packaging companies, they will list whole grain corn, some won't. And then like with oats as well, they will say whole grain oats or oats. So corn is actually a whole grain. And on this one, it says organic ground yellow corn. But it's given that it's whole grain. You had a question?
Yes, I have a question in regards to the vegetable oil listening to. To what extent is that questioned by you? Because I know in reading some of the health articles, it lists certain oils that we need to stay away from.
Yes,
and
so we want to
vegetable
stay
oil
away
is one of them.
from saturated fats and trans fats. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just questioning in terms of.
So
its use in that
vegetable oil
particular-
is unsaturated, so you can still consume it in small amounts.
Okay.
Yes, it's everything in moderation as well. If you're using vegetable oil a lot, and then they use in like especially in baked goods, you need to use vegetable oil for like sticking it together. And with breads, the amount that they use for whole grain, and then you will eat only one slice, so it doesn't make that big of a difference. But if you were cooking all your vegetables in 2 teaspoons of oil, or all your grains in 2 teaspoons of oil, that's when it makes a difference. Okay? And that's actually a very good question, and that's how we can apply these guidelines to our lifestyle, because people are like, oh, I need to completely eliminate oils, but it's just depends how much you eat it. You eat 1 piece of toast probably how often? Like maybe, I don't know, once a day. But if you eat a whole grain toast, you're getting your whole grains and the amount of oil, or so it doesn't make that big of a difference. But if you were eating a whole loaf of bread in a day, then you would think about it. Okay? Yes. Well, this slide we already discussed, so bread number 2 is better for us because it has the word whole in it. Oh, another thing, example I wanted to list with packaged products. One is like honey wheat bread or wheat bread and multi-grain bread. Multi-grain doesn't mean it's a whole grain. Again, you have to look on the ingredient list. Another thing with cereals, on the box, on the front of the box, they will list contains 20 grams of whole grains. And people can be fooled and pick it up and say, oh, it has 20 grams of whole grains. But then when they look on the ingredient list, whole grain is on the 3rd or 4th on the ingredient list. So technically they didn't lie that it contains 20 grams of whole grains, but the whole grain is not the main ingredient in those products, versus the cereals where you look at and the first ingredient in whole grain. Does that make sense? Okay. Proteins. So we want to limit red meat and processed meat, and the recommendation for red meat and processed meat is less than 18 ounces per week of red meat. So 18 ounces. Why are you laughing? Can you relate, James? Is it going to be a hard one for you? But it's actually very doable. We have an example. So less than 18 ounces of per week of red meat, and we want to avoid processed meats. And how does the 18 ounces look? So you can do it. You can have 3 ounces Sunday through Friday, so 6 days you can have 3 ounces of red meat and no red meat on Saturday. So you can divide your red meat for 6 days. Actually, it's very doable. How often do you guys eat red meat at home anyways? James, let's put you on spot. How often do you eat red meat at home? Too often? Like every day?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but almost.
Oh. What do you eat on the days? What kind of meat do you eat on the days when you don't eat red meat?
Chicken.
Okay. So chicken is a good alternative for protein. Fish is a great alternative for protein. So do you think one of those days when you eat red meat, you can switch to another day of chicken or fish? See, it's doable. Yeah, so you can either do 6 ounces of red meat 6 days a week, and then one day do something else. You can do 12-ounce steak on Sunday. You can do 6-ounce burger on Monday, and then the rest of the day you can do chicken, fish, beans, lentils. So you can divide those 18 ounces however you wish, and it's actually not bad. You can divide it 6 ounces 3 days a week. It's actually very doable. I don't know who eats, well, now I do. So this is actually a protein portion size, and the recommendation, this is the old stack of cards is 3 ounces. So if you eat piece of, it's not that small actually, or the original iPhone, that's 3 ounces of red meat. So if you're doing 6 ounces, you are eating 2 of those 3 days a week. Very doable, right? Yeah. Or you can go meatless. And these are some examples. So these are actually recipes that we have in our we're gonna raffle at the end, I only could bring 3, unfortunately. I wish I could bring 1 for everyone, but maybe you guys can make copies. But I did, oh, so what did you guys think of guacamole? Okay. I'll talk about it later. So these are some recipe options or options that you can do to reduce your red meat consumption or meat consumption in general and go meatless. So make a burrito, a quesadilla with beans. Try a vegetarian burger made with soy or beans. Add extra vegetables to pasta, pizza, or stir fry. Bob, do you think you could have added more vegetables to your eggs this morning?
Well, if I had any available,
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah. You can add nuts or chickpeas to a salad, hummus to like sandwiches instead of using like processed meats. You can like spread hummus. And then add beans and lentils to soup, and the lentil soup and sweet potato is in the recipe book. Stir peanut butter into oatmeal or yogurt, and prepare beans as side dish. And those are just some examples of recipes that we have in our book. So what about fats? So fats, as you see, are not a food group, but they are incorporated in all the other food groups, especially in protein and dairy. But we still want to be mindful of fats, so we want to use no more than 1 teaspoon per person when preparing, and replace solid fats with liquid fats. And solid fats, butter, bacon, grease, margarine. We'll replace it with olive oil, canola oil for a healthier heart. And then, or use less the ones you can't live without. For example, butter. Let's say if you eat, spread tablespoon of butter on your toast in the morning, try doing half a tablespoon of butter in the morning. Start by half a tablespoon. And then, I don't even know. What are someone's favorite or butters that you can't live without? Fats, I mean, that you can't live without. Yeah, and again, when preparing with fats, you have to be mindful. Just 1 tablespoon of fat is 100 calories. So you don't think about it because it's liquid and it's small, but it's actually very dense in calories. 100 per tablespoon, at least 100. So if you're using 1 tablespoon to prepare like a meal or for a family of 6, that doesn't look bad, and it's not bad. But if you're using 1 tablespoon to just saute a serving of vegetables, then that's bad. Make sense?
There's one that is in spread form, and a little container, as well as in block form, a stick form, that I think I'm remembering it as being equal balance for vegetarians and also for vegan. How familiar are you with that?
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, okay.
But for vegetarians, for vegans, I would say, if they are taking something from like natural curing product, they're probably replacing it with something else to make up for the taste. So if they're taking away, or butter, you make it from milk. So for vegans, if they're making butter, it's probably a lot of processed things. Yeah.
I'll have to recheck the ingredients to remind myself.
Okay. Another point that I wanted, it's not on the slide, but it goes with grains a lot of times, and with diets, people talk about gluten-free diet. It's like, oh, gluten-free is healthier. It's not healthier. Gluten is a protein found in grain. So the people that should be following gluten-free diet are people that have gluten intolerance, because that's a condition that they can't process gluten. But if you're not gluten, if you're not sensitive to gluten or you don't have gluten intolerance, you do not need to be afraid of gluten, because when you're removing gluten, again, if you look on the package of gluten-free, let's say crackers, it might contain more fats, more salt, and more sugar, because if they're removing something from natural occurring thing, they're replacing it with, most of the times, fats, salt, and sugar. Okay? And then with vegan butter, it's again like you can't, butter is made from milk, so they're probably adding a lot of other things to make something that tastes like butter.
I use coconut oil a lot.
So with coconut oil, you have to be mindful as well, because coconut is actually a saturated fat.
Yeah.
So this is an example how we can eat plant-based diet. If we make sure that half of our plate is fruits and vegetables, if we're eating whole grains, and if we're eating less than 18 ounces of red meat and adding some plant-based sources of protein, it's actually not that bad and very doable. Any questions on my plate and plant-based diets? Okay. So the recommendation number 3 is limit alcohol, and there is actually no safe amount of alcohol. So sometimes people will ask, oh, what's the safe amount? There is no safe amount, but the recommendation is limit 1 serving per day for women and 2 servings per day for men of alcohol. And this is just an example of what 1 serving looks like. For beer, it's 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or 1.5 ounces of hard liquor. Any questions on that? I'm hoping none of you drink more than 1 serving a day. The recommendation number 4 is be physically active. And it is important to, physical activity is actually not just only for cancer prevention, but to lead a healthy lifestyle. And as we mentioned earlier, 13 cancers may be prevented by diet and physical activity, and any activity is good, but working harder is always better. So, because people are like, oh, how much should I be exercising? If you haven't exercised at all, just starting and doing 5-minute arm raises or something is better than doing nothing. But the recommendation is to do at least 30 minutes a day of moderate activity, or 5 more days a week, 5 or more times a week. And those, it's in the seats. Those 30 minutes actually doesn't have to be all in once. You can break it up, but as long as throughout the day it adds up to 30 minutes. So you can do, or 15 minutes per day of vigorous activity. So 30 minutes you can do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, 10 in the afternoon, 10 minutes in the evening. So as long as throughout the day it adds up to 30 minutes. And it's not that bad, because most of the time when you tell people they need to be physically active, it's like, oh, I don't have time. But yeah, you can actually find 10 minutes somewhere while you're watching TV. Just take canned beans and start doing some kind of, there are a lot of chair exercises as well, so you can do some kind of chair exercises, or like even moving arms can be considered a physical activity if you're not used to doing it before. So even moving arms vigorously can raise up your heart rate. So let's get moving. And then in the summary, we're at the end of our presentation. 1/3 of cancers that occur each year can be prevented by diet and physical activity. And if you follow, and the American Cancer Society has 4 guidelines for a healthier lifestyle that can reduce your risks of getting cancer. A healthy weight, eat a plant-based diet, limit alcohol, and be physically active. Any questions? Yes?
On vegetables and cancer, and I'm not sure how to pronounce the cabbage
Yes.
Okay. Is that true that cruciferous vegetables play a part in cancer prevention?
I am not very, I can't say that it's cruciferous just, but all vegetables. And as earlier I mentioned, the recommendation is to eat all kinds of, like the variety of fruits and vegetables. So, I mean, they are vegetables. They will play. I haven't heard of recommendation where it says, yes, eat more cruciferous vegetables. Just eat more vegetables. And with cruciferous, you actually have to be more careful because people have more not intolerance to it. So people can be more sensitive to uncooked, like broccoli or cabbage, because of the protein in vegetables. So, but all fruits and vegetables, not just cruciferous. Any other questions? No? Okay, so how did you all like guacamole? It's good. So there is a secret ingredient in the guacamole. Can anyone guess what the secret ingredient is? No. There are more avocados in there. There are more, I promise. No? No guesses? Wow. We have some. Would you like to try some? Okay, I'll get you some. I'm gonna let her try and then I will reveal the secret ingredients. Huh? No meat.
So let me ask, while you're doing that, what did you learn that you did not know before from Zoe's presentation?
That 1 teaspoon of oil. Okay, tablespoon. Okay, so 1 tablespoon of oil per person is the recommended.
Per person is teaspoon. But 1 tablespoon has 100 calories. Yes. Yes.
I understand that Burger King is, they have a plant-based burger now.
They probably do. I don't know because I don't go to Burger King and I don't even think I've ever tried Burger King in my life.
That's probably a good thing.
I was just gonna say, when you were talking about the vegetarian burgers, you need to be careful with the salt content in them.
Yes, exactly.
You need to be careful with the salt content in them. I've been vegetarian for 38 years, and so I make a lot of stuff from scratch, but I do buy some of the soy products. So you just have to be careful with the salt content.
Thank you for mentioning that. It's again, if you take something, you have to add something to make up the taste. So salt, sugar, and fats are actually the things that you want to watch out for. It's not the protein or it's not the whole grains. Any other questions? No. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys another recipe, and I hope everyone will like this. Well, I think everyone will like it. And the recipe is called strawberry fluff. It's a dessert. It's a healthier version for dessert. And the reason I chose this recipe is, oh, I didn't reveal the secret ingredient. Did you try your?
Yeah.
We're counting on you.
What is it? What is it?
Is it time?
No, it's not spice. I made it. I made it this morning, and I was telling Carol, I was driving, and I'm driving, so I just got a new puppy. And it's been only a week, and I'm like, feel guilty leaving her at home, so I have a camera. I left, and I'm watching camera, and she's crying. I'm like, it breaks my heart. But I'm driving, and then, crap, I forgot the guacamole. So I turned around, went home, and I'm trying to open the door quiet so she doesn't hear. Of course she heard me. I grabbed the guacamole and ran. But I made it this morning, yes. So the secret ingredient in guacamole is actually frozen green peas. Yes. So that way you are getting your vegetables. And guacamole in itself is not bad for you. Avocados are very condensed in fat. It just helps us reduce the amount of avocados that we use. So adding green peas. It's still green. Most of you, well, none of you guessed that it has peas in it. So yeah, but everything else is the same. You add lime juice, tomatoes, onions, cilantro, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of cumin. Yeah. So you just have to let the peas thaw before you process, and I blended it in a blender. Yeah. Okay, so the recipe that I'm going to show you now is, it's called strawberry fluff, and it's a healthier dessert. I'm using angel food cake. I'm using fat-free whipped topping, and I have frozen strawberries. Well, they were frozen when I initially bought them, and then, well, it's good because that was my goal, to not have them frozen. And then I diced them up, and they're a little bit melted now. And then, very easy, and if you have grandchildren, it's something that you can get them involved, and it's less in sugars, less in fats. And so we take the angel food cake, and you just break up into small pieces. That's why it's fun to do with kids.
Actually, Zoe wanted to make the guacamole here, but we thought the time and trying to have the blender and everything would be a little bit awkward to do it here, so you could see how she actually made it.
Yeah.
But
it's
it
very
was good.
easy.
We're glad you did this.
I'm glad you all liked it. And it's not too peely, is it? No. Good.
Are all guacamoles made with peas?
No. Yeah. So it's one of the recipes from the book. Yes. So we just add the peas in. Huh? Yes. So you just
go peas to guacamole to guacamole. But see, that would not really do it. I mean,
yes. So the recipe actually says one. Yeah, you can find it, and you guys can take a picture. Okay, so we break up. Literally took me a couple seconds to break up my angel food cake. Then, so you can use fresh strawberries as well, but I chose frozen strawberries. So I use a bag of frozen strawberries. This is 2-pound bag. I just dumped it, diced it. Then I mix it with fat-free whipped cream. It asked for one big container, but Kroger didn't have a big container, so I've got 2 small containers. And if you're going to parties and you need to bring a dessert, guacamole is a great thing to bring to the party. This is a great thing to bring to the party because that will help you stay healthier during the party and also everyone else. So you mix strawberries with whipped cream. strawberry mixture. We have this pretty fluffy mixture. And then I have a clear bowl just so you guys can see it, and then you assemble it. We're actually gonna put whipped cream on the bottom. And then so you just layer the strawberry and whipped cream mixture with angel food cake.
I've made that using fresh peaches.
You could use fresh peaches too, so instead of strawberries, you can use any other fruit of choice. And another angel food cake that I forgot about because I think we have more mixture. Yeah, and this is, you guys see why it's fun to do it with kids. Yes.
So the guiltless guacamole is you'll need 1 to 10 ounce frozen bag of peas, ball.
Carol, can you just pass it around and take a picture? Oh, yeah.
Do what? Take a picture?
Pass it around, we can just take a picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I was gonna send it around some here. That's a good idea. Thank you. You gonna post it?
So how do you find out all of this latest information? For example, like with your research and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the organization has grants or?
So we do have grants, and we also have, so I am based in Cobb County. Each county has agent that teaches classes, but we also have specialists on campus, so they do most of the research and stuff and programs, and then, yes. That's why it's called extension service. We extend the research and education from the campus here.
Zoe, you said that every county has an extension service. Is your part of it, is it all the counties tied to University of Georgia?
Yes, so all of counties are tied. So it's partnership between University of Georgia and local county government. So I actually I'm based in Cobb County, so all of my programming is in Cobb County. But since you got and sometimes when other agents in different counties can't do it, we work together with other counties. So agent in Fulton County was not able to do it, so she asked me and I came.
Are you on County Farm Road?
No, I am where the old tag office used to be, on South Cobb Drive in Marietta.
library system also is connected with.
Yeah, so,
municipalities.
yeah, because in most counties, we do work close with libraries and senior services because we are still, although we are from University of Georgia, we're still connected to the county. Yeah.
Because those who have the gardens or the times when they sponsor classes or workshops on even like patio gardens.
Yeah.
Or those.
Is anyone allergic to nuts? No?
Oh, yeah.
Huh? So, because my recipe calls for. I got everything at Kroger. Yeah. So recipe calls for chopped pecans, and I thought I bought chopped, but I just realized they are halves. So I'm gonna improvise. Okay, so our recipe is done. Very easy and something that you can bring to a party. Doesn't require a lot of ingredients, doesn't require a lot of fat, but it's also healthier.
Did you get the sample?
Yes. So before I pass it around, actually, it needs to sit a couple minutes. So I have an evaluation that's probably the least favorite part of everyone, but because we are part of University of Georgia and county government, that's where we get our funding, and we need to do evaluation with all our programs.
Okay, Tiffany picked the first name for the cookbook, and the name goes to
Barbara.
While we're
Okay, so I'm gonna pass evaluation.
Is everybody's name in here? Okay, you want to give another name while they're doing that?
Sure. Can I say something? So for program name, you guys can just put cancer prevention and then today's date. And then if you have any questions, well, I will actually go over the. Yes. So one thing I realized I didn't bring pens. So
Oh, I have pens.
Okay, awesome.
Who needs a pen?
And then one for you as well.
Oh, all right.
I'm giving evaluations for everyone. Thank you. And I'm gonna give So I'll go over the questions. With question number 1, like before you need to fill only one, and then after you need to fill only one. And then for the please indicate your intention. You need to choose again only one answer. And then for the 3, please indicate how you feel. So each row there are lines. In each row you need to fill one bubble. And then with question number 5 with amount of money is, what do you envision the impact of this program to be to you financially? Does it make sense?
Give an example.
So give an example, okay, because of this program you learned something that in the future you can save money, either doctor's visits, either, let's say if you wanted to get this information from someone else, how much would you pay for this, like, or if you went to the nutritionist or dietitian, or just because, let's say you learned something from this program and you are able to apply it to your lifestyle changes. Will it like maybe reduce your doctor visits and that kind of thing? And then the fill in the blank, you can just write whatever you want.
And the second cookbook goes to
Janine Appleton.
Sit right here, sir. You're welcome. There's one more, right?
Yes.
And so we know what to say who the last one goes to.
And the last one goes to Charlotte.
There was 2 here.
Oh, it's going around, yeah.
Oh, yes. Goes to Charlotte.
It's on. I have to tell. Yes, we have.
So, Rita, do you want to say something?
Oh, anyway, I would like to thank you for your wonderful presentation. It was, I mean, it was so enlightening, and you did such a good job, and we appreciate you taking time off from your regular schedule to come in on Saturday for us. And hopefully you have many more experiences like this.
It was just a wonderful experience.
Thank you. It was a wonderful experience for me too.
Good.
Yes. I'm sorry for everyone who I had to put on the spot. I hope, as I mentioned in my first slide, the goal is for us to feel empowered, to feel that our health is in our charge and that we can make small changes to lead a healthier lifestyle. So I hope you guys feel that way when you leave. And I
It
hope
must be nice to have a job that do this kind of thing for the public and, make everybody happier.
I'm glad you mentioned it. When people ask me, oh, what do you do? I'm like, let me tell you about my job. I have the best job ever.
I think you do.
Yes. Yeah, because I love interacting with people. I actually, my bachelor's, are we still recording?
Yes, but that's okay.
Well, I
That's
just
okay.
wanted to have a casual conversation with everyone that
Okay.
we don't need to record. Because the class is over.
Well, the thing is that there are other people who actually go and you think, what did you learn? Did you just want to share
Did
with
you
her?
think, Bob, this was your first meeting, right?
My first meeting, but I'm not new to this
Okay,
kind of
well, first meeting here.
Yeah.
Comments around the room. Some folks that haven't had anything to say.
I just thought this was extremely helpful because, first of all,
helpful for me, and then knowing how much oil makes 100 calories was a big deal. And then the importance of mixing up fruits and vegetables because of the different things that they do.
Yeah. Not just eat apples or not just eat oranges.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Are these cookbooks available through you all?
So those cookbooks, we actually have this cancer prevention program is actually a grant-funded program. Well, it was a grant-funded program with American Cancer Society, so the cookbooks came from them. This year they made some changes, and the program itself is 3 hours. I just did the nutrition portion, but the first portion is the importance of screening, and the representative from Cancer Society usually comes and does that part. I talk about nutrition, and then we do food demonstrations. The reason we're not doing it the whole class is because the target audience for Cancer Prevention Cooking School is uninsured women that don't have insurance, and the goal of the grant-funded program is to connect them with resources to get the screening. So,
Well, I'd like to get this, but, so you can't buy it outright?
no, so you can't buy it.
How much would you?
I You can make a copy from.
Yeah, because some of these are really helpful.
Yes. I think I have more of the whipped cream mixture than the angel food cake. But I hope no one minds that. Yes. I'm here, I have plates here. You want smaller than that? Here.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you need to cover it.
So what do you all think for the ones that tried it? It was just regular fat-free Cool Whip with strawberries.
And nuts on the top.
And the nuts on the top, yes. So the reason I actually like using frozen strawberries, the recipe in the book you will see that calls for sugar, to mix strawberries with sugar. I didn't do sugar because I think frozen strawberries are sweeter. Bob, you didn't want one?
No, I'm not too big on desserts, plus I don't, things on berries, blueberries, strawberries, I just don't do it. Actually, I'm cutting down, I'm already on my program, see.
You cutting what?
I'm making room for that burger later. Plant-based, the plant-based one.
Who didn't get, who wants more? So how is it?
Delicious, and I am a nutty person.
Huh?
This is delicious, and I was simply adding that I am a nutty person.
Oh.
When you were asking if anyone was to, if anyone was that.
Well, I'm glad you all like this, and yeah, and you actually don't even need sugar. Yeah. Another thing I want to add with fruits and vegetables, people ask, the questions just come up that I think anyone can benefit. People ask, oh, are canned fruits and vegetables not as good for you as fresh fruits and vegetables? Actually, canned and frozen fruits and vegetables are just as good as fresh because they are picked and processed at the peak of their ripeness, at the peak of the vitamins and minerals when they come out. And the reason I said that frozen strawberries are, I think, are sweeter because they are picked at the peak of their ripeness and then they're processed, frozen, preserved. With canned, of course, well, in frozen vegetables as well, you just have to make sure that you are buying just plain fruit or vegetable, not with like sauces, because then sauces add extra fat, sugar, and salt. And then with canned fruits and vegetables, with vegetables you want to choose no sodium added or low salt, and if you can't find it, you can always rinse it. Rinsing will help you get rid of excess salt. And then with fruits, you want to make sure either it's in 100% juice or in water. But I don't know if they have fruits in water. Just 100% juice. And the reason for that is, although 100% has sugar, at least you're not having that extra added sugar. Okay?
Zoe.
After. So, he had a question. Yes.
In canned vegetables, one of the things I have is a lot of small cans, and they're great for like snacks, so potato chips. But when you look at the sodium content, a lot of that's in the water too. So when you drain that out, do you have any idea how much sodium
You're getting rid of?
you're getting rid of?
When you drain and rinse it, you're actually getting rid of most of the sodium.
More than 50% of it?
I'm not sure, but you are getting rid of sodium.
They're trying to get a ballpark figure.
Yes, I'm not sure. And I can't really answer your question if it's more than 50%, but you are getting rid of it. It's better than not draining and not rinsing.
Yeah.
So, yes.
May I have a second helping?
Yes, someday, actually, because I need to take these bowls home to whoever wants to, please.
Yes, please.
Because I need to take the bowls home, and I'm not gonna.
There are some nutritionists as well as physicians who say that even with the 100% natural juices, because of the natural sugars, to still dilute with some water.
Yes.
So as
That's
not,
a good
so as to
point.
eliminate
Yes.
the sugar intake.
Yes, that's a good point. Even though it does say 100% natural or 100% juice, it still has a lot of sugar, and sugar is sugar. So you do want to reduce your sugar consumption, so you want to dilute it, and yeah. I was just saying that 100% fruit in 100% juice is better than fruit in syrup.
Okay, I'm going to have to wrap up this section of the
Yes,
program.
sorry, I took
That-
all your
that
time.
was wonderful.
Oh, can I get my evaluation back,
Oh,
please?
yes, I have to do that.
Wait, is the recipe for this in the book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, come back forward.
You know, Sean.
Okay. Can you collect all of them?
All right. Zoe, we're just really thankful that you came to spend time with us today. You were a real treat. No pun intended. Okay. One of the things I want to share with everyone, we said on the updates, is that Vicki, in the back of the room, Bob, you don't know Vicki, but Vicki is our winner of the Kodak Run, Walk, and Roll for 2019 this year. And the reason she won is because of all of our support. So here she is with the CEO from Kodak, Chris Brand, taking a picture after her win there. So congratulations, Vicki. She has a lot of other pictures. We're going to have those in the newsletter when we publish our newsletter issue. So we want to do that. And we want to have reflections on the conference that we had with Dr. Bruno. And so one of the things that we had a lot of comments, and so we wanted some time where you could discuss here what you thought about the conference that we had with Dr. Bruno. We had about 70 people. Well, it's probably more like about 80 people attend that conference. We had people from Kentucky, Tennessee. Someone who was here from California was traveling, and they participated. We had, I think it was Ohio, North Carolina, that was here. Missing another one. So, Michigan, okay, Michigan. And so, as you can see, there were people that were interested, and we had quite a few people who participate on Facebook with Dr. Bruno's Coffee House Cafe. Is that what it is? That were also a part of that. So right now my brain is like trying to get through all of this. So it was successful. So comments, thoughts, or reflection. Janine, you were making a comment early on about the conference and what you thought about it. Can I just have some other sharing for a moment? Who would take it?
I just thought it was very enlightening, and I just finished reading the book. I cried part of it reading the book. I'd like to know, how many of you were involved in the extreme cruelty?
Can we, yes, would you please talk, so we can record now?
How many of you were victims, I guess, of this extreme cruelty that he talked about in the hospitals? I don't know. It was so shocking to me. I had polio in South Dakota, and I didn't have any of that. It's not on?
Up close to your mouth. You have to put it up close to your mouth.
I didn't have any of that cruelty, and it just really shocked me that so many people did. How many of you guys had that? None.
No.
Where do you suppose that came from? I mean, is it from the Northeast?
No, the closest I came is they almost threw me out of a Shriners Hospital because I was organizing a wheelchair race. Well, what kind of a knucklehead builds a children's hospital with a hallway down the center of it, a straight quarter of a mile?
Right, exactly. Well, anyway, I thought this guy was great. I enjoyed the book and learned a whole lot.
Thank you. Who was there? Raise your hand if you were there at the conference. Oh, good. Would you share your comments, your thoughts? Good, better, different.
I thought it was very interesting when he really shared with us the truth about between who's that, Dr.
Would you put that up to my please?
Dr. Salt and the other physician who really should be given credit for the polio vaccine, and how that underhandedly was co-opted by Dr. Salt. When we give all these kudos to them. Yes.
Yeah, he really did the groundwork.
Yes.
Here's what you learned. But that's not, I don't think, unusual for people to end up building on when somebody else starts, and then they get the glory, so to
That's
speak.
the American way.
Comment?
I thought that he I don't know why I just like sorry. It seemed like he dispelled a lot of assumptions that some of us had. For instance, exercising. You need to, do all this strenuous exercise, and for our particular group, we have to be careful with that. It's not necessarily that we don't want to, it's just that it may not be good. He compared it to a cell phone. Your cell phone has 5% battery life. Are you going to start watching videos and sending texts and overworking it? I thought that was a great analogy.
Yes. Thoughts? Barbara, Joe, David, Charlotte. Did you meet people? Jim, thank you.
He made you less afraid of things, and he brought things in such a way that you were sort of liberated from some of the false thoughts that were not what things really are. And he knew his subject very well. And I suspect that because he had polio, he had an even deeper insight into what people are going through. And I was just happy to be among the people who heard it. He was simply perfect.
Other thoughts? Anything we could do different if we have a conference again?
I thought Wayne and his wife did an excellent job. The setup, the tables, the flowers, the decorations, they did a really, really nice job.
I thought so too. Thank you. And I have to give Allie kudos on that registration. It was outstanding.
Agreed. That was my next comment, but you already covered that.
That was so well organized also.
My only comment for improvement was only because I was sitting back there before the conference. It got to be quite a traffic jam at the food table because the way the table was set up, people were coming in the door but had to go to the other end of the table to start the line. And there was a table to sit, and people couldn't get in, and then people stopped and were talking to people they hadn't seen for a long. It really got jammed up. So that's really the only improvement that could have flowed a little bit. If the line had started at the door and worked their way back, then they could have gotten out. And people were kind of trying to come in and go out the same door. So you're going to have a one-way street back there.
Yes. Maybe have someone guide the order the runners. Okay, thanks. Other thoughts, reflections? This is the time, guys. So, I want to thank everyone for their participation in making this happen. A lot of people did a lot of work to make this come together. So we really do appreciate you. I want you to know it hasn't gone unnoticed. Thank you so much. We have just a few moments. These are not in any particular order, but that's Wayne. Great job he did. And to the host table, greeting table, some of the APPA members with Dr. Bruno. And I thought that was a really good picture of the Harrison family with Dr. Bruno. Sandy's picture got cut off on the bottom. There's our editor and her husband, Nancy and Winter and Steve Winter. There's our lady here. That's a good job. Good picture, Gloria. Work visitors here. I want to thank you all for the job that you did at that meeting. I think everyone thought that you're playing the role of you and your sister to handle those microphones and save us with our save our technical piece. That's really, we're really thankful. So, we just wanted to share that with you. I want to go back now for a second. Oops. Sorry about that. On the SNAP update, I spoke with Leslie. As you know, Leslie lost her brother this past month, and she has been recovering herself from surgery and a number of things. And she has been at work with FODAC to actually, we're hoping that we're able to implement SNAP, which is our Special Needs Assistance Fund, and that we would be able to do that at the beginning of the year. Well, not the beginning of the year, the beginning of the next cycles. We're going to have the month of July off. So we're hoping that in August that we can have a trial run for a few months. She'll let you know how that works and how we're going to work with FODAC to make that happen. I've had a number of requests already that we want to try and implement this as quick as possible so that we can help folks because there's need out there and publish that. So we are working on that, and I wanted you to know that. Also, with the website, you may have noticed some differences. Allison, do you want to just say what some of those differences are that we added to the website that you did? I mean, I have to, but
the only difference that I can think of at this point was we added an agenda page to give everyone an idea of what's going to be discussed at the next meeting. And right now I can't think of anything.
One of the things that has happened is that people are using, we have a page where people can update their information, their personal information. If they change their phone numbers, their email addresses, or anything like that. So there is now more and more people are using that, and so we're really pleased about that also. So just to let you know about that. The SEPSA conference, I didn't put this in. I was going to show you the newsletter, but I will send it out. I spoke in Savannah to the Coastal Employee Polio survivors at their 22nd anniversary in Savannah the last week in April, and that was a success. It was we had fun. It was a great group with about 40 people at that anniversary luncheon. And I'll tell you, if you get a chance, go online, look for the Coastal Employees Polio Survivors Association, and take a look at their website. They've done some great advocacy work in terms of working with people with physical disabilities. They actually worked with the group in Savannah to have the cuts in the streets so that they can have easier access in the street. And so they are actually cited as one of the groups that helped make that happen in Savannah, the Polio Survivors Group. So I thought that was really interesting, and a number of other things that they've done to be involved in survivors activities. So that the website, actually, one of their members came as a result of my going there. She came to Dr. Bruno's conference, that we had. So I thought that was pretty cool too.
Could you get that website again?
Coastal Empire Polio Survivors Association. SEPSA. SEPSA. And Cheryl Bracken is the president of that association. One of our members also this past year, Betty, she was going to try to be here today, but I want her to tell you about her experience. She went on the polio survivors at Boca Raton on their cruise this past winter. And so that's just kind of some of the news. How did you like the newsletter? I meant to ask you, how did you like the newsletter? Joe, thank you for helping get that started and providing the blueprint for that. Nancy is ready and willing to do the work to get that newsletter out to people. So I thank her and for the work that she's done also. Before we go, just getting out of here, I guess what I was thinking, one of the things I wanted to have at least a moment to do is any kind of concerns or things that this group has that they wanted to share with the total group about what's going on with them, or something they may have heard, or something they heard during the conference that might be helpful. Bob talked about one of the things is that, he just encountered this PPS activity recently, maybe some advice to him that you'd like to share, and that kind of thing. So, can we get kind of where people are? If there's anything that you would like to share with the group?
Carol?
Yes.
May I suggest maybe as one of the forthcoming programs, if there can be a representative to talk with us about mindfulness, because now that is being incorporated even into some of the traditional physicians programs, and some even to the point where there are those who have programs designed even for children or young adults. And so if that could be something that we could get a representative to talk with us about, that might be helpful also, because it talks about things to do to reduce stress, a form of meditation, and all of that can help to still incorporate all kinds of positive practices within one's life to help improve.
Yeah, we talked about the physical activities and what things could we do to relieve stress or
yes,
with
but I
the
think
mental,
this goes a little
aspect.
A little deeper than that, because now, I mean, even in accessing the substantive topic on websites or the internet, I mean, it is really, really expanding into a very broad type of practice. And so I thought that might be helpful even to us.
I'm glad you said that, though, because Rita and I had some discussion about someone coming in to talk about brain gains, how those kinds of things might be helpful too, in terms of what we might do that might help us with just the mind related activity. If anyone has any suggestions or knows of anyone in those areas, or you have an idea of a suggested expert or organization, let us know. We'll be glad to do that. Well, we had a full day, did we not? And I'm not going to keep you, but I do want to thank you. If there is no further questions or comments, everybody looks like they're ready to go. I would say that this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.